I matched with a guy on a dating app who looked like a literal Calvin Klein model. But 30 minutes into our first date in Brooklyn, I realized I wasn't his date. I was his delivery. Most girls would have frozen in fear, but I grew up in a house full of cops, and the trap he set for me was about to become his own worst nightmare. If you think dating apps are just for finding the one, wait until you see how this night ended in an abandoned warehouse. My name is Maya. I matched with Ethan on a Friday night. He was charming, funny, and suggested a high-end rooftop bar for our first meeting. He offered to pick me up in his black SUV, and like a fool, I said yes. But instead of heading toward the city lights, he started driving toward the industrial docks. When I asked him where we were going, he just smiled and said, "There's a private pop-up party I want to show you. It's very exclusive." My gut instinct was screaming at me to jump out, but we were moving too fast. We pulled up to a dimly lit warehouse, and 3 guys were standing outside waiting. Ethan didn't even look at me. He just nodded at them and said, "She's the one we talked about. Is the wire transfer complete? Be honest with me. If you were trapped in a car with a guy who just sold you to a group of strangers, would you try to fight your way out? Or would you play along until you found a better chance to escape?" Drop a fight or wait in the comments, because my next move was calculated risk. Ethan grabbed my arm and led me inside. The warehouse was empty, except for a table with a laptop and a thick envelope. One of the guys, a tall man with a scar on his neck, looked me up and down and said, "You did good, Ethan. She's perfect for the client." Ethan let go of my arm and started counting the cash in the envelope. He actually looked me in the eyes and whispered, "Sorry, Maya. Rent is expensive in NYC." He turned to leave, but he didn't realize that while we were walking in, I had already hit the emergency SOS button on my Apple Watch. Suddenly, the sound of sirens and heavy boots shattered the silence. My dad and his partners from the 75th precinct didn't just walk in. They stormed the place. Ethan tried to run through the back exit, but he ran straight into a canine unit. The guys who bought me were part of a larger ring they'd been tracking for months. Ethan wasn't a model. He was a scout who lured girls in. I stood there, watching them get handcuffed, and I walked up to Ethan. I took the envelope of cash out of his hand, handed it to my dad, and said, "I guess rent just got a lot more expensive where you're going."